Hello and welcome to Trackops. I'm your host today. I am Chuck Cox, and today we're going to be going over some end of the year reporting tips. So it's the end of the year, it's the start of the new year, and you want to run some reports to help you not only close out the previous year, but also to help you forecast some trends for the coming year. And so whether you're an owner of a company looking to determine total income across all your clientele for the year, or you're a sales manager and you want to determine total sales from each staff member throughout the year, or whether you're an accountant and you want to determine total expenses that the company incurred on cases throughout the year, Trackops offers many types of reporting tools that can help you determine all of this information to help you close out a successful year and to help you launch into the next year. So from the Reports tab, you can see that there are a few different types of reporting tools: sales reports, case reports, expense reports. These are going to be the crux of the reporting tools, not only throughout the year, but now that we're at the end of the year. So we want to determine a few things. We want to know our sales distribution across a number of criteria. We also want to know our profit distribution across a number of criteria. We're also going to look at some trend details so we can forecast for the next year. And then we're going to look at expenses. So we're going to want to look at our expenses across a variety of criteria for the year. And so this is all going to help us close out the year, help our accountants square our books, and to offer some insight into the coming year. So we're going to start out and we're going to jump into sales. So we're going to go to our sales distribution report. And every report that we're going to go over today has a date range. And since we're looking at 2017, we're going to back this up to the start of 2017. And right out the bat, it's grouped by client. So we'll keep that for now. And so we can see a nice distribution pie chart here that's showing, each section of the pie, if you will, is a percentage of the distribution of the sales for each client. So we can see that about a quarter of our business was the Stormlands, another quarter was the North, and then we have another quarter for the sample client, and then we've got diminishing sales for our other clients here. We can come to the bottom, so all these reports are going to have summaries, so we can see our clients here, the amount we billed, as well as the amount they paid. And so this can help you determine outstanding invoices. So one thing your accountant might come to you and says, we want to know how much outstanding invoices that we have, so we know that, okay, we're missing some revenue here and we need to get with our client, we need to get with our managers to determine how we can square these accounts. And so we can see here that our sample client does indeed have an outstanding invoice, and this is a red flag to us to let us know, okay, sample client has an outstanding invoice, what are we going to do about it? If you want to group by client, state, or province, this can be a great way to determine sales across state borders. Each state has its own income tax, things of that nature. Your accountant may say, well, we need to know how much revenue we generated in this state versus this state, and grouping by client, state, or province will give you that. So we come down here, we have another nice pie chart, and we can see that about a third of our business is in Colorado, and then each at a quarter for Nevada and Wyoming. And then we can come down here and we can see, okay, we've got our states, we've got our amount billed, our amount paid, and then again we have an outstanding invoice in Colorado, so we know not only the client but also where this outstanding invoice is located. We can also do it by salesperson. So if we want to go in here and we want to say, well, we want to know which salesperson is accounting for the most revenue throughout the year, group it by salesperson, and this is the chart that we get. Distribution of sales across our salespeople, so we can see the majority of our sales are coming from Tyrion and Charles. And so when we come down again, the summary by salesperson, amount billed, amount paid. So we still have this outstanding invoice, so not only do we know the client, the state, we also know the salesperson that's responsible for that outstanding payment as well. Like all reports that we're going to talk about today, they're all exportable. So if you'd like to export this report into a CSV file that you can then open in Excel. Then you can send your sales manager, you can send your accountant, so we can square the books. Exporting this is an easy way to do that. So now that we have our sales total for the year, we want to turn our attention to our expenses and to see what deductions we can make on our earnings for the year. And so back to our reports tab, we want to look at an expense distribution report. So we're going to click that, and we're going to get a distribution of expenses, again across a grouped by criteria. So we're going to select staff, and we're going to select our date range again for 2017. And we're going to select money, we're going to click update. And so now we get another pie chart here, and it's the distribution of expenses across all of our staff members. So we can see our lead investigator here is about 1/5 of our expenses, and then Charles here is over half. And just like the income distribution report, we can come down here and see some totals. So we've got each staff member, number of entries they had in this time frame, number of hours that those represented, and then the totals for each one. So same thing again with the income distribution report. We can export this report and we can send it over to our accountant. Now if your accountant comes back and says, alright, this is great, we could see the totals for each staff member, but really what I want to see is I want to see in totals by expense item. So let's say you've got mileage, for instance, as an item, and you want to deduct those miles from your earnings. And so we want to give them a report our totals by entry and item. So all we need to do is group by expense item. We'll click update, and this is going to give us a list of all of our expense items that we've incurred throughout the year, the number of entries from each one, the quantity of each one. So mileage here, this is the number of miles, and then the totals for those. And so this gives us a better report on how to deduct certain items from our earnings and not just from the staff member. If you would like more detail about each expense item, there's an expense detail report as well. So let's go back to our reports tab, and we're going to go to expense detail. And so typically this detail report is only available for a 30-day period. However, if you group similar items, you can extend this report for much longer. So we're going to group similar items, and we're going to go back to the start of 2017. We're going to hit update. Okay, so now that we have that filtered for our date range, we can come down here and we can see each staff member, all of the expenses they had for the year, including each item and the quantity and then the total. And so now we can get a report on, okay, well we see how many items that we have and the totals for those, and we see the staff members and the totals for those. Well, we want to see each item total for each staff member, and we're able to get that with this report here. So now that we've gathered some data on our revenue for the year, sales totals, and our expenses for the year, let's turn our attention now to the profit. So go back to your reports tab, and we're going to go to the profit distribution. And it's very similar to the income distribution, expense distribution. We can alter the date range to reflect the year of 2017. We can group by client. We can group by client state. And then we also get our list here at the bottom of our grouped by, our expensed amount, and then our invoiced amount, and then it shows your profit as well as the margin on those profits. We can do salesperson, tracking category. We can also export it. So it's all very similar to the other distribution reports. Two other nifty reports I wanted to quickly go over are sales trend detail and case distribution. So we'll go into sales trend detail, and this is going to give us more of some trending information about particularly sales in this case by client, to see over the past 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. We can move this back all the way to the year, and we can see that for each month it's giving us totals that we billed in sales to the client for that month in the year. And then as we progressively move through the year, we can see a trend. So we can identify maybe points in the year where one client is really active, points in the year where another client is really slow. Maybe a client started out slow with you and then built their business as the year grew. And moving forward into next year, you can see that continuing. So then you can forecast numbers to say, this client's been giving us steady business at a 5% increase every month in 2017. I spoke with the manager over there, and he totally expects to continue with that growth. And so for the next quarter and the next year, we can decide, well, we should be able to forecast this amount of much in sales. You can also group it by other criteria like state, salesperson. So if we wanted to see how well a salesperson was doing amongst your staff, you can see, okay, well, you did really well out the gate in January, February, March. That first quarter was excellent. Then you dropped off. You had a lull in the summer, and now you picked it back up at the end of the year. We want to change that. We want to work so that you have more consistency, whatever it may be. Just gives you the data to use it how you will. The last report I want to discuss is the case distribution report. And this is more of an end of the year report, and it's going to give you your distribution of cases across another grouped by criteria. So we're going to use client, and we're going to make this 2017 like all the other reports. And it's going to give us a distribution of cases across all of our clients. So we can see that sample client here is almost 50% of our caseload. And we can come down here, and again, we get a summary, group it by client. We get to see how many cases they actually gave us, the budget hours on those cases, and then the budget money. We can group this again by case location, case type. So if you've got certain case types that you want to see, well, most of our business is workers' comp, but we have some process service, we have some skip trace stuff, and we want to know exactly how much that is accounting for our business. Well, come to this report, select case type, and it's going to give you a distribution of your case types across all your cases. So we can see criminal, workers' comp, or the majority of our cases here for 2017. So in summary, Trackops offers numerous reporting tools that can help you not only close out the end of the year and satisfy the needs of your accountants, case managers, C-level managers, but also plan and forecast for the next coming year. If you have any questions or would like some further assistance on these types of reports, please feel free to reach out to us at support@trackops.com. You can also submit a ticket via the help drop-down at the top right of your Trackops. Just click submit a question and we will get to you as quickly as we can. Thanks again for using Trackops.